So Hermes Desktop has launched and is now better than ever before, but it's in version 0.35. Now, a lot of people have been contacting me and telling me that Hermes Agent was not able to install on their Windows computer and that they were having a problem with it, and that some people were telling me that there is no app for this. Now, I have Hermes Desktop installed on my Mac, but in this video, I'm going to go ahead and set up Hermes Desktop and walk you through step by step of setting it up on my Windows computer. Plus, just want to add this over here is that I just wanted to also let you guys know that this is the first time installing Hermes on my desktop. So if I run into any issues, it will be live and then we will troubleshoot those issues live as well. Plus, I also have Hermes CLI installed. So there's a video that I made of that showed how to install Hermes Agent on your Windows computer. Now, if you've already run through those steps, then you should have Hermes Agent on your Windows computer. If not, then you don't necessarily need to run through those steps. You just run through the steps in this video and you should be able to set up Hermes Desktop, which will then connect to your Hermes Agent. And if your Hermes Agent is not available, it will install it. Now, I already have that already did that through on my Mac. So hopefully this will be the same process on my Windows computer, but let's just see. And if you run into any issues, this will also be recorded and you guys can learn from it. So let's jump right to it. All right, so this is the GitHub repo for Hermes Desktop. There is a link to the GitHub repo from where you can download the Hermes Desktop setup, but you can also go to the official Hermes Desktop GitHub repo. So if you go to fate/Hermes-desktop, there's a link to this over here. This is where you can get all the source code for the desktop, and then there's a bunch of other stuff over here. This is also available in both English and Chinese, but this is not a Chinese contribution. This is an English contribution, but there were Chinese developers that worked on this. So you can see over here that Hermes Desktop is a native app for installing, configuring, and chatting with Hermes Agent, a self-improving AI assistant with tool-use multi-platform messaging and closed-loop learning. Instead of managing the CLI by hand, the app walks through its install, provider setup, and day-to-day usage in one place, which implies that it should set up Hermes Agent on your computer if you do not even have it installed. And even if you have Windows, as I'll show you in this video, it uses the official Hermes install script, stores Hermes.i in Hermes, and gives you a GUI for chat session, profiles, memory skills, tools, scheduling, messaging, database, and more. So this is like the Hermes equivalent of ClawX. Now, if you've not seen me install ClawX or if you're having a problem with ClawX, I have a video on how to install ClawX. There's a link. I think I'll put it somewhere over here. Go ahead and follow the instructions. You also compare this to ClawX and see how this is different and if it's better or not, or if it's the same. Now, it says over here is that you can see the install. So this is the Mac OS, or if you're using a Mac, you will install it via the DMG file. If you're using Linux, this will be the app image. Also Windows, there is an exe. Now, if you want to download the Windows setup, easiest way is to click on the releases link over here, and this will take you to the latest and greatest release. So if you click on releases, it brings you over here. So 0.35 is the latest release. And if you scroll down, we've got assets over here. So Hermes Desktop setup, this is the one that you want to download. This is 104 megabytes. So depending on the speed of your computer, this should maybe take a few minutes. I already have this downloaded, and once it's downloaded, you go ahead, we fire up the setup. It'll take a while. Now, this is where most people get thrown off. If you see it, the SmartScreen just to run. And if you're on Windows 11, you will for sure see this. I'll just close everything else up so you guys can see the setup. So this is standard Windows installation, a lot like ClawX, which was also standard Windows installation. Now, it says, welcome to Hermes, your self-improving AI assistant that runs locally on your machine, private, powerful, and always learning. And this will install the required components. So this is around 2 gigabytes. Now, if you have a Hermes Agent installation set up remotely, this is where you'll go. You'll click this over here. But since I have this installed locally, there's nothing remote. I'll just click get started. And now it will walk through the installation process. One of the steps of the installation process is checking if you have an existing installation of Hermes Agent, like Hermes Agent CLI, for instance. Or if you have an outdated version, so if it's outdated, it will update. If you don't have Hermes Agent, it will install Hermes Agent and it will install the dependencies. So in my case, it's complete. You can continue to set up. Now, over here it says set up your AI provider. So choose a provider and configure to get started. And with OpenRouter, Anthropic, OpenAI, Google AI Studio, XAI, and Muse, Portal, and Local. So I'll just use OpenRouter. So I already have the arrival API key. I'll go ahead and punch it in over here. Or so I've gone ahead and pasted in my OpenRouter API key. And we'll continue. All right, so this is the main interface. So depending on if you already have what the Hermes agent is installed, it's already installed. This is going to be a quick install because it's the desktop version of the CLI agent. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's just that it's a lot easier to use. So we'll walk through this step by step so you guys know I can start using it. So here is how I'm going to help you. Ask me to write code, answer questions, and search the web. So these are all the features that you have right off the bat with the chat. You can go to sessions, and here is where you can check all your conversations. So I just installed this in front of you guys with our RO conversations. So profiles, so these are mainly agent profiles. So each profile is an isolated Hermes workspace. So you can have different workspaces. So you can have a coding workspace. You can build a writing workspace. You can build a to-do workspace. So you can do all of that stuff. Then you've got Office over here. And this is a setup Claude 3D. So Claude 3D is a 3D visualization environment for your Hermes agents. It lets you see your agents working in an interactive office space. Clickable to automatically download and set up Claude 3D. This will be done to the repository and install the dependencies. So mainly this will show your agents visually. So if I can install it, go ahead and install it. I think I'm having a problem with this installation. It's working fine on my Mac. So let's set this setup and see what this shows me. I'll show you guys too. So here we have models. So we can search for a model or we can choose a model. So remember we're connected to OpenRouter. So it's a manage a model library. These models will appear in the chat page model selector. So I can also do over here. I can do a GPT, .ss. I don't have a model over here. Okay, so but I can add a model and I can do a, let's say, GPT, OSS. All right, we'll use, let's see, I'll use AI, OpenAI GPT OSS 120B. So we'll copy this over here and we will paste it in. We'll paste the model ID over here, Control B. Give this the name, OSS, wildframe. All right, we'll give it a base URL. It's already set at OpenRouter's base URL because that's what we chose. All right, so I found a bug over here. If you click anywhere else, when you're setting this up, this box will disappear and then you have to start from the very beginning. So yeah, that's definitely a bug. Let's do GET 3 and model. So now it adds the GPT OSS OpenRouter model. But we also choose Sonant and some of the other stuff. So you can actually add all the free models over here, and then you can just click and choose, which makes it a lot easier compared to the CLI where you have to do Hermes agent models and then choose OpenRouter and then choose a model and then copy and paste in the model ID. So you don't have to do any of that. Then we've got providers over here. So you can auto detect, so select an inheritance provider, an inference provider, or an auto detect based on the API key. You can also set up your credentials. And it supports just about every major one over here, even like ones for GLM. The GLM API, it supports Kimi. So if you don't want to set it up via OpenRouter, you can just get a subscription for one of these. Or if you already have a subscription for one of these, just get it in and paste it in over here. This is a lot like how we had this feature set up in CloudX. Then we have skills, and again, this is skills was similar to Hermes Agent skills, the CLI skills, and I currently don't have any skills, so you can refresh and see So unlike ClawX, this doesn't automatically pick up the skills. So also I might not have any skills, but I do have skills, but it's not detecting the skills. So we might want to have or install some of the skills over here. Let's just see. Yeah, so skills are not showing. So persona over here, define your agent's personality. This is a lot like ClawX, so you can write like how you want your agent to behave, respond, uh, response tone, all of that stuff. So you could I actually got ChatGPT to write me a personality for a soul.mp and I pasted it in and it works fine. So then we have memory over here. So you can choose how much memory you want to give your agent. So you can do add memory and you can give it a memory. I'll not do it for now. Use a profile and providers. Again, this is where you can use add more providers if you need to. I can also see like sessions and messages and memories and then go down to tools. So these are all the tools that are enabled by default. Now there's a bit of a caveat over here is if you have all of these tools which are enabled by default and you don't use all of them, you don't necessarily use all of them anyways, so you just disable. For instance, I don't use the cron jobs a lot, so I should just disable this. Mixture with agents. So disable the ones you don't necessarily use so that speeds things up and that makes Hermes agent a lot more responsive. And it's also less taxing on your system depending on how much RAM and how much computing you have. Also with skills over here, most people will not turn that off. Most people will not turn off vision, code execution, terminals. So depending on again how you want to set the setup. Then you've got schedule, so you can create your first task. So these are ones that will run on an interval. So you create a new task. This is again a lot like ClawX. So you can say, find me the latest AI news for the past 24 hours and send it to me at 9 a.m. every day, and it will do that. Then there's the gateway. So in my case, the gateway is top because we haven't set this up. So you can set up again like this is if you want to set it up with Telegram. Here is how you set it up. You just get a bot, go to bot folder, create a bot, and then paste in the credentials over here. WhatsApp, let's see if WhatsApp is as easy as it was with ClawX. So WhatsApp is not as simple as it is with ClawX. So it does it with ClawX. So you guys remember that it gave us a QR code. We scanned the QR code with WhatsApp and it logged in over here. Not that simple, but it's got all of the other, like even if you want to interact with it via SMS, that's even possible. I've not used SMS, but if you want to do that, that's always the option. We can also go to settings over here. And if you're having problems, just run diagnosis or do a dump or migrate to Hermes, OpenFlow installation detection. So over here, it detected my OpenFlow installation, and then you can do migrate to Hermes. So it will migrate all of the history and the skills and stuff over to Hermes. I don't want to do that right now, not on this system, but again, like it will pick all of that up. Now we go back to the office over here, and this is still installing. So we let this install, and we will get back to the office again and see where we are. So we're having a fail run npm spawn error. I'm not sure what this is, but let's try and do something over here. So here I can choose the agent. So I can choose auto, or with auto, we'll just pick the best one. But I just want to use the free one. So I will do GPT free. I'll just put this over here. I'll say find, let's make it easier, like search the web for today's top tech news. So let's just see how well it goes with this. So it's giving me an error, so it's saying that it's not able to connect, which means that there's a problem maybe with the gateway. So let's see. The gateway is running. It says status is running. Let me just try again. Well, let's just try a different model then. And models, add models, let's try inclusion. And sometimes you will run into this issue where some models of OpenWriter, for some reason, they just don't work. and then localhost. So this is already add model over here. Go back to chat, and let's see. We have inclusion. Still a hello command. I may have not added the OpenAI base URL. Oh, sorry, the OpenRouter base URL. So let's click this and update. Or even on the free GPT, we'll just click this and update. And let's see, this also is on the Sonnet. Sometimes it's a problem with the gateways. We'll take a look at the gateway as well. So it's working fine. But chat, we will chat again. Hello. Okay, so it appears we're running into a configuration issue, and I think I know what the issue is. We have this installed on Windows, but our Hermes Agent is installed within Ubuntu. But we set up a Ubuntu environment for Hermes Agent, so there's a good chance that it's not connecting to Hermes Agent in Ubuntu. Take a look at sessions, profiles. All right, so we click on activate. This keeps failing over here, and the chat this is not working because this is not connecting to Hermes Agent, which is in the command line. Now, one way to fix this would be to remove Hermes Agent from the command line, and then reinstall this, and then have this install Hermes Agent. But I have not tested it, so I'm not sure if that would actually get this to work. For now, this is not working, at least on my Windows computer, even though this is a Windows setup, and Hermes is not a Windows native app. So as a last ditch effort, let me just try one more thing, and maybe that's one reason why it's not working. So I'll start an instance of Hermes. So let's update the CLI for Hermes Agent, the Hermes update. So we run the update, and I've closed the desktop app. So once the update completes, you will then reboot the desktop app and see if that fixes things for us, because I have, I think, an outdated version of Hermes, which may or may not be compatible with the one we installed for Windows. Now, honestly, when we install the Windows app, it should have checked for Hermes installation and then updated it if it was not updated, or tell us that it's not detected and install it. But we didn't get that. So in this case, I would say that the installation for Claw X is a lot easier. It's a lot more intuitive than the installation for Hermes Agent, especially on Windows. Now, this worked perfectly fine on my Mac. I just drag and drop the DMG file, and when I opened the DMG file, it detected my installation of Hermes. Then from there, it just we set it up real quick. But on Windows, as you can see, we're having issues. So we're trying to troubleshoot those issues, and you will know if it works. I'll stop the video at this point, and then restart it once the update completes. All right, so the update has finally completed, and it's gone ahead and updated quite a few things. So the code got updated, 2 users got modified, researcher 12 updates, and it updated my node.js, and that took quite a while. So anyway, we'll do Hermes and do chat. Just boot Hermes Agent up into chat, and let's do a hello to see if it's working. So we're using all of the free models that OpenRouter has to offer. So this is definitely working. So now we will boot up the AI, the UI, and so it appears after we updated Hermes over here, and then we restarted this, it's rerunning a few things, or it's installing a few additional dependencies, and it appears to be updating some stuff over here. So we can see, for instance, an open source AI agent by News Research. So we detected the Linux installation, so Ubuntu existing install detected at Hermes root. So prior to this, I think it didn't detect that. But checking for U repackage manager, and then it also found a repackage manager. Checking the Python, so on Python. So already on main, and then your branch is up to date. Installing dependencies, so we didn't have the dependencies installed, so it's gone ahead and it's doing that. So we read this run through the process, and when this boots up, we'll see how things look. If it still continues to give us issues, or if it starts working as it should. All right, so we restarted Hermes, and it went ahead and started updating the desktop. So we restarted the desktop app for Hermes Agent, and it went ahead and re-updated everything or updated everything, and then it was installing a few dependencies, and then it did all of that, and now it says continue to set up. So we'll go ahead and hit continue to set up, and over here it's asking for our Open Router API key. Now I don't know why it's asking us for this key again. We gave the Open Router key to it previously, but let's just see. All right, so it shows an Open Router. If added the Open Router API key, hit continue. Now let's see if it has our previous stuff installed already. It says GPT free OSS, so it has this. Let's see if it works. So it's still giving us this error. Let's take a look at it. If Gateway is running, Gateway appears to be running. Schedules, tools, all of this appears to be running, but create a new agent. Let's try coding. Create. This is not working. So apparently there is a bug with the Windows installation, and even after updating and doing all of this stuff, setting it up, it's just not, it doesn't appear to be working. All right, so we've not been able to get this to work on Windows, but this is how the installation works. So apparently, even though it picked up our Hermes Agent installation and Ubuntu, it hasn't so it says over here Hermes Agent is installed. So mode, it says local. So that's fine. Open call installation detected. Are we gonna do a migrate to Hermes? So we can do that. We can hit skip. We can also change the appearance. We can do this, disable the IPv4 fixed connection timeout issue that's on some networks. So this is not really what's causing this. There's a way to back up all of your data as well. Net gateway is running. So everything else appears to be okay. So I'll just use Sonnet and see if I can get a response at Sonnet. Your hello. I even, the paid model is even working. So we definitely have something that is not right. So as you can see, none of this is working. We can create a new agent. We've added models correctly. We've got provider set to Open Router. We've got the Open Router API key set up. So we have all of this done and dusted, but we're not able to get this to work. So this here is an absolute fail. So I'll try troubleshooting this to see how we can get this to work and also report this on GitHub. But for now, this is not working on Windows. Probably don't waste your time installing this on Windows for now. until there's an update. If there's an update, I will put out a video showing you how to install and how to fix this issue. Until then, like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if you had any success setting this up on your Windows computer, and if so, then how did you do it? Or if you have a recommendation, if you see I've done something wrong, let me know in the comments below too. I'm here to learn, just like everyone else is here to learn. I'll see you guys in the next video.